So today I'm going to brew a brown ale using a simply beer brewing kit. So the kit has everything we need in here. We've got our dry malts, have our hops, we have the sugar for carbonation later, and then a big bottle of malt, and then the rag for steeping. They even include some little labels for the bottles if I so wish. So this recipe has me steeping the grains until it reaches a temperature of 170 or about 20 minutes. So we'll go ahead and pop the grains in the water and steep them for that long. Still got to warm up a bit. So here's our wort. I've got it close to 170, not quite there, but it has been in for 20 minutes. So I have the water to a nice boil now. So it's time for me to add my malt, which I have had in some hot water just to make it more, make it a little softer and easier to pop in. Loosening up if it's not warm. If it's cold, couldn't be harder to get out of the container. So we're going to pop this in here. Get out as much as I can. Set that drain in there. And then we'll give it a stir. So stirring in the malt a wee bit. It's dissolving pretty well with the heat of the water. Once that's all dissolved in there, we'll bring it back to a boil and then put the hops in. So we've got the wort back to a nice boil, and the malt's dissolved in, so now I'm going to add my hops to the mix, and then we'll boil the mixture for an hour after that before it's time to chill it. Here are the hops. We'll see you in an hour. So I have just for the last couple of minutes, I put my wort chiller actually in with the wort to sanitize it. And then I have also, because it's a smaller chiller, I just thought I'd throw a little ice in the sink to try and get things cooled down. So it's supposed to take about 20 minutes with this wort chiller for things to cool down. So that sounds pretty good. So in a couple of minutes I'll be moving it over there and we'll get it cooled down, and then it's time to pitch the yeast. The water flows in from the cold tap, which I have taped because I don't have any decent, because the fitting didn't work. So there'll be a cold pipe here, one of these pipes, and one is hot with the warm heat that it's trapping, and then it flows out through the other pipe here. So this should be getting some hot water coming out of here. Not terribly hot. So as the recipe says, I'm going to add 2 gallons of water to my fermenter. Using my thermometer, I managed to get the water down to 75 degrees, or just below 75. It's supposed to ferment between 65 and 75, so just at room temperature. So I'll take my wort chiller out there, clean that later. Put it off later on. So now I'm going to transfer my wort into the couple of gallons of water in the fermenter. Carefully here. want to get too much of the sludge at the bottom, but I do kind of want it to move because I want to aerate. So once this is in, I'm going to shake the fermenter for a wee bit. There's actually not a lot of stuff on the bottom. I'm going to shake the sides. The rest is just kind of sludge. I'll do that later. So now I'll grab my lid here. Oh. Just going to shake it a bit so we can aerate it. So there, I shook it up for a bit and got it nicely aerated. Now I sterilized some scissors and opened my yeast. I also sterilized the yeast packet. So we'll toss that in there. Right, so I've pitched the yeast and closed it back up. And now it's just sitting down here under the bench here, and I'll leave it for 2 weeks. Okay, so this is my priming sugar that I've just diluted in my water. I'm going to put that in my bottling bucket right there. There we go. And now I'm going to carefully take the lid off. So I've got the lid off. Now I have my solution in here, sugar and water. This I have pre-sanitized, and I'm going to very carefully place this in the bucket right at the bottom, and I'm going to put this in here and there we go. So try not to let it bubble or move around if I can help it. So I don't want to aerate the beer at this point. So here's inside the bucket fermenter. You can see that we had a lot of sludge and leftover and yeast in the bottom. Right, so now we're ready for bottling. I have my beer in here. I've got 2 dozen bottles here, and I've got this bottler. And to bottle, it's simply a matter of turning the tap here. That goes through. I don't want it to, and then this won't. It comes out a wee bit, but it's not supposed to come out until you press it into the bottle. And now it's filling. When it gets to about the middle of the neck, I'm going to take it out and move it to the next one. I'm going to get it ready. My bottle is a little leaky, unfortunately. And it should make short work of these 24 bottles. Okay guys, so we have put the beer in the bottles, got rid of my bottling bucket, everything, I've got to clean that up. And now I'm going to go ahead and use this bottler to cap them. Okay, so I got my beer all bottled. I got 20 bottles. One wasn't quite full. I probably maybe could have saved a little of my beer from when I was transferring it into the bottling bucket, but 20 is pretty good. 20 ounce bottles. So I'm going to leave them here for the next 2 weeks, and then I'll be able to refrigerate them and maybe give one a try. So I like to leave them in boxes. You know, to keep it nice and dark. I'll turn the lights off in the room too, and then I'll come in every so often and just give them a little bit of a turn. And that I like to do that to try and prevent the yeast building up on one particular side of the bottles. Well, the beer's been resting, carbonating for about 2 weeks now. I have these nice labels that they sent with the cash, so that's kind of nice extra. It wasn't enough for all the bottles. So we're going to open it up and we'll see how it tastes. And we've got a nice little fizz there. I don't see any bubbling up, so hopefully it carbonated nicely over the 2 weeks. So let's pour it gently and see what we get. Oh yeah, there's a bit of a few bubbles there. So yeah, looks pretty good. Let's see how it tastes. There's a lovely smell. It has like a carameliness to it. Oh yeah, it's got some really lovely flavor. That's a really good brew. I enjoyed making it, and it was very simple, and it's turned out really good. So, cheers.